the reality that I grew up in told me what not to be. And I thought growing up that the people around me were describing what reality is, like believing that there's no money, there's no opportunity, and people like us can't live the reality that other people live, and we cannot have the opportunities and the success that other people have. And I think most of the time people are stuck in a lack place and live a poverty life because they're continuing the cycle. It's not the fact that life is difficult, but it's what you've seen your entire life, and that is what you believe in. And I think once I started to look at successful people and I started to listen to their stories and literally start to get more inspired by them, it made me realize that we are not different, but we are different at the same time. We're not different in the sense of we are all the same human with the same mindset. We have the same time. We have the same lives, but at the same time, they act differently towards life. They have a different mentality towards difficulties and issues like poor people have. Like a poor person will look at a difficult situation and be like, well, this is how reality is. And me, simply, I live in Somalia and I've seen this a lot where people will look at lack and believe that this is how life is, instead of looking at it and being like, you know what, this is what's happening, but I choose to believe in this. So I've learned a lot about how to make money and become more abundant. And I think the first thing that you need to do is to flip the switch and break out of the cycle. And these are the things that I want to talk about today in this video. So please like and subscribe. And if you're interested, continue watching. The first thing is that don't believe your environment as reality. I think that's really important. It's the same thing that I just said, where someone, a poor person, will try something or start something, and if it doesn't work out, the first instinct and the first thing that they'll say is that, well, life is difficult. Making money is difficult. There's no opportunities. That is what they're starting to believe. And what you believe is what's going to be your reality. But you can look at a difficult situation and be like, you know what? I actually believe this. And I believe that I can create this. You know, like I can look at my accounts and I'm having a hard time building the community that I want to build. And I can look at it and be like, you know what? Actually, social media is difficult. Or I can look at successful people and be like, you know what? They did it. It's possible. Maybe I need to work on this. Maybe I need to try this. I believe that it's possible to build the community and the following that I want to build. That's how you need to look at it. And I think it's also the same thing with settling. I believe deep in my heart, every single human has the love and the abundance that they deserve in life. There's enough for everyone. There's no such thing as there's rich people or poor people, or some people deserve money and some people don't deserve money. I believe everyone in this world that we live in, there's enough money and abundance and love for everyone. But some people settle and some people refuse to settle for what they don't deserve. And they look for what they deserve. Like, for example, you deserve love and peace, and you could go in a abusive relationship and this partner can start being abusive, and you're like, you know what? I actually deserve love and I actually deserve respect, and I'm going to walk away from this and I'm going to get what I deserve. Therefore, you get what you deserve and you do not settle. And it's the same thing with making money and living an abundant, easy life. Like, some people are just going to settle and some people are going to be like, you know what? I refuse to live this way. I refuse to live in lack. I refuse to live in financial difficulty. And I choose to have a financially easy life. And that is what they start going for. So don't just look at your situation and think that this is reality. Because what is reality? Reality is what we create as human beings. Reality is what we think and believe, and that is what happens. Reality can be skewed and changed by however that you want to change. And this leads to my second point, which is that we as humans are creators. We create our reality. So, for example, this can be a really good example where we came onto this earth where there was nothing. It was just a circle rock with nature and things. We had no buildings. We had no skyscrapers. We had no electricity. We had no phones. I'm sitting here in a different country and you can be listening to me from the other side of the world. You can be seeing me from the other side of the world. Somebody created that. Somebody imagined that. They believed it. Therefore, they created it. And because of their creation, they were able to make abundance. They were able to make money because they created it. So I started to believe literally that we as humans are the portal of abundance. Abundance is not something that people have. It's not something that you need to run and chase and it's out there in the world. It's something that can happen through you by creating value through you, by imagining creation. You imagined it in your vision and you created it. So I think that's why, I believe Allah says that we are His best creators, because us as humans we are real miracles, because we can create anything. We can create our reality. We can skew and change reality by however that we want it. And once you start thinking that, the opportunities are endless, more than money, more than friendship, you can change the world. Truly, your power, the power that you have is amazing and it's inevitable. And I think people undermine that and they just look at reality as evidence for who you are. And that's not true. And you need to start using the mind, the power of your mind and the power of your thoughts. Because everyone that has changed the world, people are making millions, people are making billions, people are putting rockets in space. And they are the same human being as you and I. They have the same time, they have the same brain, they have the same energy, but they believed that it's possible. They imagined it, they created it in their mind, and they put it into reality. And that's how they're able to have abundance through them. So stop looking at reality for evidence that things don't work out, because reality isn't real. What's real is what you believe is real. So that's really important. The second thing I want to discuss really is that the environment that I live in, which is in Somalia, and the culture that a lot of people believe in, is the only goal that they have in their life is surviving. All they think about, all they care about is surviving and having kids and getting married and worshiping. Some people actually, which is good, care about worshiping God, and some people actually don't. So I think they view life so little and they view themselves so little. All I need to do is get married, have kids. How sad of a reality is that? And I think we as humans, we create abundance when we focus on having a career, when we focus on life more than just having children and getting married. And I think a lot of women really fall into this, where ever since that you were born, you were told that the only thing that you're good at is having kids. The only thing that you're good at is being a mother of someone, or being a husband or being a wife of someone. That's really sad. And most women that I know that fall into this are really beautiful, talented women. really, like so beautiful and so talented, and you're throwing that away for something so little that anyone can accomplish that. That's literally nothing. Who are you before that? What have you accomplished? What mark do you want to leave on earth? Because I think when we focus on that more, that is when you can create all the money that you want. Because most people don't even know who they are. They don't even know what they want. All they're thinking about is surviving. But once you think about what life do I want to live? What reality do I want to live? What do I want to create and leave behind on this earth? I think that is something that a lot of women need to think about and start doing, because you are really so talented. Like, I know a lot of my siblings, they're so good at so many things. They're so good at creating art. Like, one of my sister, like, she's so good at making poet, like Shakespeare. We don't know that. Like, it's just, you cannot want to create money and abundance and stability for yourself if you don't even believe in yourself. That's like the base level. All you think that you're worth is just having kids and dying. I know getting married is beautiful, having children is beautiful, raising children is beautiful, but that cannot be it. It can't. The world is way too big and way too beautiful, and you need to see all of it. You need to see all of you and what you're capable of. What am I capable of? What can I create? What talents do I have? You need to figure that out. You need to go on a journey where you figure yourself out. And I don't think that's outside the world. I don't think it comes from money, or it comes from viewership, or it comes from people. I think it comes from within you. Truly. And I've realized this recently, where I think a lot about having things and chasing money and being appreciated by people. But if you really think about it, what will we leave this earth with? Nothing. Not your loved ones, not money, not anything. Everything that you've collected will be left on earth. And the only thing that you'll have is experiences that you've had. That's it. So I think a lot of people live their lives thinking that their only thing that they should do is collect things like, I don't know, Pokemon cards. But life is more than that. Is living in an experience. And so I think when you start looking at the bigger picture, start thinking outside the box, other than thinking so small. Like, ask Allah for more. Expect from yourself way more than simply surviving. Because I've learned, I was listening to this lecture where he said that the only thing that you can get, how do you get things in life? It's by asking. And you get better at asking, because Allah says in the Quran, ask and you shall receive immediately. That's it. And the only thing that you should be focusing on is getting better at asking. From God, from people. You're asking people to spend their time to watch your videos. You're asking people to spend their money to buy something from you. You're asking opportunities and things from Allah. And you get better at asking, and you start to believe like a child would believe. So ask for anything that you want. Anything is possible. Way better than simply surviving. You can have the world if you want, because Allah is not on a budget. I think that's it for the video. Basically, my idea is that you need to flip the switch. There needs to be a flip. You cannot go on the way that you are going on your entire life and expect change. You cannot be in the same place and expect change. You need to break the cycle. And I think that we've been living in this cycle for generations. We've been having the same beliefs and the same thoughts and the same actions and the same problems, actually, over and over again. And it's up to us to break that cycle. It's up to us for things to finally change. So, yeah, I believe that you can. And I believe in myself that I can as well. And I hope that you'll join me on this journey. I hope that you learned something. That's it for the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.